everyone, Cherry here. This story time video is so long overdue. I've been meaning to make this video for like over a year now. The reason why I haven't talked about it is because I thought I lost something that I wanted to talk about in this video, but I recently found it. So now I feel like I can finally talk about it. And the whole thing is my experience at a maid cafe in Japan is actually perfect. It was so perfect. And there are a few little bit interesting pieces about it that I thought would be fun to share. So here we go. So a little bit of some background information. I knew about maid cafes before I went to Japan. I'm on the internet and I've watched anime, so I know what they are. The first maid cafe video I ever watched, I think this video is probably like 10 years old. It was of this white guy cosplaying Goku, like Super Saiyan Goku with like the really bad spiky hair wig. And he was with this other lady. She was cosplaying a maid, and they both went to the maid cafe, and like, I just thought it was so awkward. Like, he was just so, I don't know. I just feel like he was so awkward in the video, so I'd always share that video with people to kind of like laugh at it. Yeah, so that was like my first impression of a maid cafe. And then ever since then, you know, I learned about, like just a bunch of other stuff through YouTube as more maid cafe videos started popping up, and some YouTubers were allowed to record inside maid cafes. So, you know, nothing was really much of a surprise when I got there, but it was still something I really wanted to do. So of course, arriving in Japan, one of the first things I wanted to do was go to a maid cafe, and I told this to people because I'm a very open and expressive person, and some people were telling me that they're a waste of money, they're money traps, they're not worth it, and they're creepy, and things like that. And I was kind of turned off, you know, and I shouldn't have let people's like things that they said to me like get to me. It wasn't like a big deal, but I'm very open to other people's perspectives, so if someone says something really negative about something I like, I'm not gonna, you know, of course I'm gonna be a little defensive, but I usually take that pretty openly. So when people were telling me that, I was like, oh, I mean, maybe it actually is like that. I never really thought about it that way. So I didn't really end up going to a maid cafe until like my last week there. It's so sad. But also, it's not just because of those people. I can't like say it's all their fault, 'cause that's really dumb. But it was also like, even though they said that to me, you know, I was a little put off, but I still really wanted to go. So it was like, because it was something I've been wanting to do for years, it was a very special thing to me. And that sounds really nerdy, but it was a very special thing for me. So I kept putting it off because I wanted to go when I had like a special time, which is so dumb because I actually had a lot of free time. And I kept like putting off certain things because they were so special to me. I wanted it to be like a big deal. Like, I'm that kind of person. So a mixture of like people telling me it's not a good idea, but also like me wanting to be over dramatic and make it like a special thing. Like, I ended up going the last week that I was in Japan. So, a little heartbreaking. I guess it's good that I only went to it once and it was like really, really special. So, it kind of like made things even more special. Anyways, so that's like the background information about how I ended up like going when I did and why I only went once. So here's the actual story now. I went to the cafe with two people who I never thought I would be going to a maid cafe with in Japan. So one of them was my friend from college, and he graduated ahead of me, and he was just in Japan for vacation. So of course, while he was in Japan for vacation, he wanted to meet up and like hang out. And we had Japanese class together when I was a freshman, and our Japanese class was so small. There was like 8 people. So it was very intimate, and like those were like my first friends that I made when I was in college. Oh my gosh, I'm getting like so sentimental about this. And like all of us, like a few of us were still pretty close on like Facebook and stuff. So we were together, like we went to an aquarium. Oh, we went to the Tokyo Sea Life Park. I vlogged that. Yeah, totally. Check that out if you haven't already. That same day also worked out very well to meet up with my other friend who just arrived in Japan for teaching English there. And this is my friend Cassie, who has appeared in like a few of my other vlogs, like Holiday Matsu related vlogs. And I especially never thought I would be going to a real maid cafe in Japan with Cassie, because my first year attending the convention, it didn't work for it. So I went to the Maid Cafe at the convention, and she photobombed a picture that I took with my friends at the con, and I didn't know who that was. I just knew that she was like the announcer person at the cafe. So I never thought that I would eventually become friends with this person, really like this person, and end up going to a real Maid Cafe in Japan with this person. Like, what? So both of these people I went to the cafe with them. Oh, and then my friend Cassie, she brought a friend with her who I just met for the first time. So I don't really have special memories attached with her. But these two people at the same time, I never thought I would be doing this like with them. So it's so, I don't know, it's like so crazy, right? So we decided to go to At Home Maid Cafe in Akihabara. And it's so funny because that's the same cafe that the Goku cosplayer guy went to. And that's how I learned about that. And that was like the first time I heard that name. So it's like, oh my gosh, I'm finally going there. We go into the elevator, whatever, we go inside. And we're greeted, you know, like the welcome home, master and mistress, that kind of thing. And then we're seated at our table. There's 4 of us, and we are, of course, the only foreigners in the place. It wasn't that busy, though. I forgot what day it was or what time it was. I think it was... I don't know. I don't remember what time it was. It was just us and maybe like another party and then this guy that was alone. Now, I'm sure this is a common thing that happens in maid cafes, but this guy was definitely probably like maybe like 30, 40. 30's not old. He's probably like 40 something years old. He was just by himself. And he seemed like one of those people that like he's kind of creepy, but he's a regular, so it's good for business. And he probably seems like he has like certain favorite maids, and like he was talking to one maid and he kind of like had his arm around her. I feel like that was like not part of it. I feel like he was breaking the rules, but I don't know. So I don't know. He's just kind of interesting to observe. So we sit down, and the interesting thing about this was that there were different maids that would go to us, that served us, I guess. I thought we would have one maid the whole time, but it was different, so that was kind of cool. Some of the maids tried to speak English with us, a little English, and some of them just spoke Japanese, but they spoke it slowly. Cassie's friend, she has way better Japanese than all of us, so she helped us out, but, you know, we could also fend for ourselves as well. So it was interesting, like, communicating back and forth, and the maids that didn't try to speak English at all, they were very impressed that we could speak Japanese. Like, they were surprised and they felt relieved. There was one maid that, she looked really young, I'm not sure, maybe like 18 or something. And when she was giving us our stuff, like, she was shaking a little bit. Oh my gosh. She had, like, really cute, short, light brown hair that was kind of, like, crimped. And her outfit, like, accessories were all purple and stuff. And, like, oh my god. And she had braces, too. And she was so, like, very petite. And, like, I think she just felt so, like, she was trying not to, you know, let us know that she was nervous. So we ordered drinks and we ordered a dish. For some, I think it was Cassie that she ordered. She got a drink that was like I don't know what it was. I can't remember if it was alcohol or not. But the way, it was a drink that required mixing. So the maid, she did like this thing that was like a fun like chant, and then we copied it with her. And then, like, at the end, we're all like, yay! And it was so cool! I was like, yes! This is what I wanted to experience! So, you know, like, there's, like, a lot of different rituals or whatever, or chants. It sounds like a cult, but that's the only way I can explain it. There's, like, things, like, activities you do with the maids as a way that they call a magic spell that helps make your food and drinks taste better, I guess. So, one of the most popular things is Moi Moi Kyun, where... You can look that up. I'm not going to do that in this video. But we all actually did that before we ate our food. And, like, I was like, yes, this is what I live for. Like, we actually did that. So that was so nice. Oh, my gosh. It was so cool. So I ordered this ice cream parfait. It had a lot going on. There was, I think it was actually, like, it had, like, some fruity sherbet in it, and then, like, cotton candy, and some, like, sour gummies, and then, like, some ice cream or stuff. I don't really know what it was, but I ordered it because it was pretty, and it turned out pretty, and it tasted pretty. Sweet and sour, that is. Cassie ordered some curry. My other friend, he got like chocolate sundae. So the big thing that prevented me from making this video a lot earlier was the Polaroid picture that you get to take with maids at maid cafes. And I thought I lost it, but I found it. So that's what I was talking about at the beginning of this video. So how it worked was one of the maids brought us a board with Polaroids of individual maids, and we got to pick which one we wanted a picture with. It sounds awkward explaining it, but yeah, that was basically it. So I picked this one girl. We each picked different people. And when you went up to get your picture, how it was there was someone that was standing at a stage, a maid. There was a maid standing on a little stage in front of the room, and she had a microphone, and she called your name like an announcement. And so then you'd get up from your chair, and you'd walk over there, and then she'd hand you like a basket, and you can pick what kind of animal ears you want to wear. So I picked cat ears. And then, and then they would ask, like, your name and, like, greetings and stuff like that. So then, I picked the cat ears, and we did a cat pose, and this is the picture! Ah! After the picture was done, said thank you and stuff, and went back to our seats. Once the pictures were done, developing, we got them back, and they were in nice little, like folders, and it was one of those folders where it was like, it has like 3 sides to it, so if you fold it backwards, it's like a triangle and it's a stand. I have it with me, I didn't lose it. I just have it in like a place where I stored all my Japan stuff, and I don't feel like digging it out. But I did keep the picture out because it's special. So I should have just kept the folder out. I swear I'm not this disorganized of a person, but I feel like actions speak louder than words. After about an hour, when we were pretty much done with our food and stuff, we weren't kicked out, but we knew that it was time for us to leave and we had to go. So when we got our check, I looked at the price, and the price wasn't that bad. You paid for your food, you paid for your drink, and you paid an entrance fee. I honestly forgot what all of the amounts were, but I didn't think it was that expensive for what I experienced, and I think the price, like, I expected it to be a lot more expensive than what I had to pay, and I'm a pretty cheap person, so I think that it's definitely worth the price. So then afterwards, we went downstairs. Oh, and then they said, they said bye and stuff, very nice about it. So then we went downstairs, and there was like or was it on the same level? I don't remember the layout of the building. We went to the shop, and there was tons of photo cards you can get of so many different maids. They even had like a CD, and they had special photo albums for the photo cards, so you can collect them all. That's a big thing. And they had a lot of merchandise, and I didn't buy anything. I don't know why I didn't buy anything. Like, I wish I got, something, but I didn't. I don't know why. I guess I was just trying to save money, because it was like, the very end of the trip, and I was running low on funds. But they did have fans that they gave away for free. Look at this thing! It's so nice. It's summer 2015. Akihabara, at home Maid Cafe. This is Premium Maid. He told me. Isn't this the maid that also has made many guest appearances at anime conventions? I think this is her. Cool. And then on the back, there's a bunch of other maids as well with their little names. We have Hakase Milky, Mizukin, Riona, Pawn, and Ri-chan. My favorite is Riona. She's so cute. They look so cute and infantile. So the big takeaway from this video is, yes, go check out a maid cafe if you ever go to Japan and think it's gonna be interesting. But also, if there's something you want to do it as soon as possible, because I had so much free time before then, and I chose to do other things. But what I should have done was just done the big thing first, go to that maid cafe, and then that would have given me time to go to more maid cafes and have different experiences at different places instead. If you think something is so special and so important, don't keep putting it off because you want to like make it super special. Like, just do it already. Just do it, okay? And if people are telling you that this thing you really want to do is not that great, or they think it's, all these type of things, take what they say into consideration, because there may be some truth to that, but don't let that stop you. So I hope you really enjoyed it, and let me know in the comment section below if you want to go to a maid cafe, or if you've been to a maid cafe, Or if you went to a maid cafe in Japan, it was absolutely horrible. I'd really like to read about that. If you'd like to donate money to help North Korean refugees live a better life outside of North Korea, click the link in the description box of this video. I'm trying to raise money, and it's a very slow process. That's all I have to say. I have talked a lot. You made it this far, so thank you so much for watching, and you'll see me in the next video of mine you decide to click on. Bye! Bye!